Good morning, everybody. What a gorgeous morning we have here in a November morning. It's great sunshine, we have this great warmth, and we have our wonderful guests that are watching from the bridge over here. We've had the great opportunity over the last week to watch the Cherry Street North Bridge on Twitter and on Facebook, but I must tell you how pleased we are to have it here in our harbor behind us today. My name is George Zagaric. I'm the President and CEO for Waterfront Toronto. And before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the land that we're meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now the home of many diverse First Nations, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. I'd like to actually acknowledge Chief Stacey Laforme of the Mississaugas of the Credit, who could not join us this morning, and he asked me to relay the following message. I am sorry I couldn't be here in person to witness this important step in the revitalization of the waterfront. I'm currently under travel restrictions due to the COVID virus. I commend all the planning and the hard work that made this possible, and I look forward to the future. Miigwech and Bamapi. Thank you, Chief Laforme, for your remarks, your support, and we hope to see you soon in person. Waterfront Toronto is a corporation that was created by the three levels of government to revitalize our waterfront. This morning, we are privileged to have several public office holders with us to mark this important milestone in the waterfront's history. Please join me in welcoming the members of Parliament, Julie DeBruson from Toronto Danforth, Adam Vaughan representing Spadina Fort York, MP-elect Toronto Centre Marcy Ian, and congratulations Marcy on your recent by-election victory, and the Member of Parliament, Provincial Parliament for Etobicoke Lakeshore, Christine Hogarth. Christine, over here. And His Worship Mayor John Tory. We also have a Toronto City Councillor for Toronto Danforth, Paula Fletcher. And I'd also like to acknowledge our board member, Joe Cressy, who's here as well. We are going to open up with remarks, and I will just start with a little bit of background. And I apologize. I'm trying to get this page going. This is an exciting day for my colleagues and me here at Waterfront Toronto, the people of the city, Ontario, and Canada, and for our project partners, including Ports Toronto, the Toronto and Region Conservation Authority, and CreateTO. Soon this bridge will connect a new Villiers Island with downtown Toronto, but it's already connected thousands of Canadians with each other. From Dartmouth, Nova Scotia to Montreal and on to Toronto, this morning's arrival of the Cherry Street North Bridge ends a week-long journey that's been capturing the imaginations of so many already. And just as we've seen in cities like Sydney, Australia, and Chicago, the Cherry Street Bridge is sure to become an iconic landmark of the city's skyline. The Cherry Street North Bridge and 3 new bridges that will arrive next year will also connect Toronto with its bright and promising future and advance our goal of making our waterfront one of the best in the world. A future with places to live and work, with new parks and access to Lake Ontario, where you can dip your toes in the water and take a kayak for a spin. This future is only possible to the thanks and support of our partners, the governments of Canada, Ontario, and the City of Toronto. To our close and valued relationship with the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, to the design and engineering teams at Intuitive, Grimshaw, and Shallick Bergerman, the bridge fabricator, Cherubini Metalworks, and construction manager Ellis Dawn, who is hosting us today. I also want to thank the captain and the crew of the Louis M. Tug for the careful conveyance of our waterfront's newest landmark all the way from Nova Scotia. And with that, I will now introduce our speakers, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing which of the three levels of government are going to take credit for this great weather that we have here. So let me start by calling Julie, please. Julie DeBruce.
Thank you, everyone. It's really an amazing day to be here. I'm happy to be joined by my colleague, Marcy Yen, MP-elect for nearby riding as well of Toronto Centre, and to be here on behalf of our Minister of Infrastructure, Catherine McKenna. Sorry, I forgot about the mask. You get used to having it on all the time. This is an important piece of city building. We don't often get to see such an exciting moment for our city. And when I think back to 3 years ago, when we were here to announce that we were going to be funding the project by all orders of government, and then the next steps on a very cold day, shoveling the first bits as we were talking about building out this channel and river. It is an amazing thing to be here for this next step of seeing this bridge arrive. And I don't know about many of you, but I've been really taken by watching this bridge watch and watching as it's traveled along. So Waterfront Toronto, thank you for sharing that as a way for us to be able to see this built infrastructure as it arrives to our city. This is an important flood protection project. That part we don't focus on that much. It's important city building. It's also flood protection. It's going to protect about 800 homes in my community from floods in the future. As well, it's going to help us to build out along this entire area. When you look to your right and to your left, most of this wasn't even in, this is so different from when we were here 2 to 3 years ago. It's a completely different area, and I'm so excited to watch as we watch the parks develop in this area, and as we watch the housing that we get to build as well. About 20% of the residential units will be affordable rental housing, and an additional 5% of residential units will be affordable ownership. After it's fully developed, it's estimated that 18,000 to 25,000 people will live in the Portlands, right around where we're standing here, and in the Villiers Island precinct. Construction that began in July of 2018 is expected to be completed by 2024. When we first started talking about those dates, it didn't seem like it was possible, and yet here we are, and we're seeing the next steps with this bridge arrive. It's one of 4, and with it we get to build connections across Cherry Street, Commissioners. As somebody who cycles in this area a lot, I'm really excited to see that 3 of those bridges will have active transportation included as part of its construction. That's going to make it safer and easier for cyclists to get around here as well. And 1 is going to be dedicated to public transit, which we all know is important for our city as well. But it's amazing to be here as part of this exciting city building project. And it's nice to have good news stories to share. It's been a difficult time. Nice to have a story like this to share and to be able to talk on a beautiful day about all that we can achieve for our city when we all work together. And this is a true example of watching all orders of government work together to make an amazing thing happen for our city. But thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Julie. And representing the government of Ontario, please welcome MPP for Etobicoke Lakeshore, Christine Hogarth.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to join everyone here today on this amazing day. And you know, when you come here, we have to remember not to take our waterfront for granted. It is so beautiful to be here. And for people in the community that don't come down to the waterfront that often, you should really come down and see all the work that's been done under the leadership of our mayor and our council. I am just really pleased to be here and join in this exciting day. And I'm excited to be here on behalf of our Minister of Infrastructure, Laurie Scott, as we celebrate the arrival of our first of 4 bridges that will eventually become part of Toronto's iconic skyline. And what a beautiful skyline that is. And since the bridge departure from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, I've been following the journey along Cherry Street. I've been following the journey for the Cherry Street North Bridge as it's made its way into the Gulf of the St. Lawrence, along the St. Lawrence, and eventually to Lake Ontario towards its home right here in the Toronto waterfront. And I thank the Waterfront Toronto for making us that happen so we can watch its journey come to this wonderful spot. The revitalization of Toronto's waterfront is a wonderful example of 3 levels of government working together to benefit all the residents of the communities that we represent. Waterfront Toronto has undertaken one of the largest waterfront revitalization initiatives in the world, with the transformation of 800 hectares of formerly industrial, underutilized lands into new mixed-use communities. And if anybody is here today and had the opportunity to walk around, you cannot believe the size of this site. And just think of the future this will hold for the many new Torontonians that will join us. The three levels of governments have jointly invested $2.75 billion, including $900 million in provincial funding for the waterfront, including the West Don Lands project and the Portlands flood protection, and that will prevent flooding and support the creation of this vibrant space. Three levels of government, we are all working together and to ensure that Waterfront Toronto can deliver on its mandate to develop a vibrant waterfront that captures the beauty and the spirit of our wonderful city. I'm honored to join all of you today to celebrate this key milestone, and I look forward to what the future holds for Toronto Waterfront. Thank you very much, and congratulations on this milestone.
Thanks again for joining us, Christine, for your remarks. I'm going to now call on His Worship, Mayor John Tory.
Well, good morning, everybody, and I'm just glad today. There's a lot of days I don't want to have my own job, but today I'm very glad I don't have the job of the person that's in charge of bringing that barge in here, just in case anything ever happened to that bridge after all the way it's come from Nova Scotia. But how proud it is to have something that was, there's been some international work done on the design and so on, but the assembly of the bridge was done in our sister province of Nova Scotia, and so it is got a lot of Canadian content in it. I think it's something we can be very proud of. I think we can be very proud as well of the fact that I'm delighted to be here today with my colleagues from City Council, Paula Fletcher and Joe Cressy, but also with the members of Parliament who are here and with Christine Hogarth from the Provincial Parliament. And people have seen throughout the course of the pandemic how we have worked together. It's been a big distinguishing factor between here and other places that we can see where people are divided, where people don't talk to each other, they don't share information, they don't listen to the experts to the same extent. And we've got our problems here with respect to the pandemic, but we've also done quite well at trying to deal with it, relatively better than some other places because we've worked together. And this project was hatched long before a pandemic became a word that we were used to using, and it was a great example again of three governments coming together to decide they would undertake together one of the largest waterfront revitalization projects in the world. And it is not just going to be a waterfront revitalization in the sense of the environmental benefits that will come, the flood protection and so on. It is going to become a place where 45,000 people will live, including people who will live in affordable housing. There'll be acre upon acre, I guess you're supposed to say hectare nowadays, hectare upon hectare of open space and parkland and recreational opportunities. And there will be employment here. There will be employment here. And if I was to say anything about today, that hopefully people who are watching at home will take hope from this. They will take hope from the arrival of this bridge. It's an iconic, beautiful bridge of which there will be four connecting up brand new communities. They're going to be built, a brand new park right over there, a significant, a big, beautiful park right on the water's edge. And I hope they will take hope from it, hope that we can work together to get these things done, that we can invest together. The city, $417 million, each of the other two governments, the same amount to total $1.2 billion. That's how much it costs. That's where your money goes to build something like this that's going to be exciting, and it's going to be a great place for people to come and to live and to work and to play. And I hope that they can have a sense of hope as well, that the city has a bright future. Right now, people are tired out, they're fatigued, they're frustrated by what's been going on with the pandemic. It's lasted longer than I think many people thought. But I say all the time, and I mean it, and I think my colleagues would all share this view. Toronto has what I call great bones. The fundamentals that made us a great city, growing on the world stage every single day before the pandemic, are still there. Smart people, respect for each other, a way of life that is admired around the world, a commitment to immigration, a commitment to addressing issues of inequity in the city, respect for each other, respect for human rights, and a wonderful system of educational institutions, a great quality of life. I could go on. Those things are all still here. And the arrival of this bridge signals that we're going to enter a new chapter. The pandemic is going to be over. We are going to resume our role as one of the most magnetic, attractive cities in the entire world in which to live and to work and to invest. And I'm just proud that we're here together to be taking this step, because I think it's going to be important for all those people who will come here and all the ones who are already here to have a waterfront like this that we can be extraordinarily proud of. So thank you to the Waterfront Corporation. Thank you to all the men and women who are doing the work on this site, including Ellis Dawn and all the other companies. Thank you to our other governments that we're working so closely with on this for their great cooperation. And it's an exciting day, and I hope to see those other 3 bridges arriving soon and everything else so that we can celebrate an important new part of an exciting city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor Tory. And next I'll call on our local city councillor representing Toronto Danforth, Paula Fletcher. Paula?
Stand here, George. Stand here, sorry. Thank you very much, George. This is truly an exciting day. I see many people standing on the old bridge coming to see the new bridge. What a beautiful, beautiful bridge it is. If you're a bridge lover, then it's spectacular. It is going to be transformational for our waterfront. We've been here before. We've been here when this was at grade. It was as low as this, and now it's built up as part of the transformation of Toronto's waterfront. And in order to receive this beautiful bridge from Nova Scotia, and those of us who've watched it pulled down through the St. Lawrence, through the Great Lakes to get here today are very excited, as are Torontonians that are watching this everywhere, because what it really means is this is real. Our waterfront transformation is real. It will be a beautiful new space dedicated to the citizens of this city. It will be an amazing project for this country, and it's real. 12 years ago, we passed the environmental assessment that started this work. Good things take a good long time, but this project is starting today. I think it is a beacon to show what will be happening here on the Portlands, as many have said. Housing, infrastructure, parks. I just want to thank Waterfront Toronto, the Mayor, MPP DeBrusen, our great rep from Etobicoke Lakeshore, Ontario government, for standing behind this project and making this happen. Our neighborhood is very excited about this, and I think the whole city is. Thank you so much, George, and your team. We're looking forward to the next milestone, and I know there'll be one. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Fletcher. And that's the end of the formal program, but we've got the beautiful shot here as you see the Cherubini Bridge coming in through the canal. I do want to take the opportunity before we formally close this off to thank Ellis Dawn for helping host this. I'd also like a moment to thank actually my staff from Waterfront Toronto who've done a fantastic job keeping this project going. And I'm going to make this point to all 3 levels of government: on time and on budget through this entire period, through this challenging time. But we could not have done this without the supports of all 3 levels of government. And I just want to close by saying feel free to take photos of the bridge, but it is an active construction site, so just be careful as you walk around. And enjoy the wonderful weather this weekend. We probably will remember this as we get into the deeper cold weather in December. So thanks again for everybody for coming, and enjoy the weekend. Thank you again.